20,000 years ago, in Europe. A herd of buffalo is encircled by a human tribe. The buffalo is attacked when Chief Tao gives the all-clear. The bulls are scared and forced to run in the appropriate direction by the people's spears. Most of the buffaloes who stampede toward the chasm fall and tumble to their deaths. Kedah, Tao's son, tries to kill the downed buffalo but fails, becomes alarmed, and flees. Kedah is overtaken by the buffalo, which throws him with its horns raised. Kedah, who gets stuck in the horn, struggles valiantly to survive. Tao throws a spear at the approaching buffalo, causing it to spiral and fall off the side of the cliff, sending Kedah into the abyss. Kedah and the other young men in his tribe are getting ready for their initiation as hunters the previous week. Kedah is one of the few lads that can sharpen spearheads, as opposed to some of the other boys. Tao instructs his kid that he must one day rise to the position of tribe chief like Tao. The following evening, Tao discusses Kedah with his wife Ro, who believes that Kedah is not Tao and that he feels with his heart rather than his spear. To go hunting, the males abandon their wives and homes. Kedah is given the task of starting a fire at one point, but he fails. They come upon another tribe along the route that is led by Shi, an old acquaintance of Tao's. The young males are led by members of both tribes on a boar hunt. Tao commands Kedah to kill the hunted boar, but Kedah is unwilling to comply. Tao punishes his kid for failing to kill the boar by slitting its throat. The men advance without stopping. Tao teaches Kedah to look to the sky and the markings left by their ancestors on the rocks to guide him home if he has to find his way back. They come upon a pack of wolves as well, and Tao introduces Kedah to the dominant wolf, the pack's alpha. The tribes then set up camp next to a campfire for the night. A saber-toothed tiger attacks them and kills a member of the Shi tribe in the process. The men build a stone memorial for their slain buddy in the morning. The tribes then start their buffalo hunt. Tao tries to communicate with Kedah as he clings to the edge of the cliff after being launched from it. He loses control of the boulder he was gripping onto, sliding farther and reaching a ledge that the hunters can't see. Tao tries to descend to look for him, but Shi and the other men prevent him by telling him it is futile. As soon as Tao realizes that Kedah is no longer alive, they erect a slide of stones in his memory. The Shi tribe part ways with Tao and his warriors as they return home. Kedah regains consciousness. He has a broken and swollen ankle. He tries to descend, but the wall is too high. Up until a storm arrives and a flood of water floods through the ravine's base, Kedah manages to survive. Kedah pauses for a moment before diving into the sea. Kedah splashes ashore in an area he is unfamiliar with. He gives his leg a splint so that he can walk. When he tries to go back home, a pack of wolves spots him. Kedah is forced to climb a tree for his own safety as they pursue him. Kedah is wounded by Alpha's spear as he approaches her. The other wolves leave while Kedah watches, but Alpha lies powerless and critically injured. Kedah carries her to the cave where he cures her wound despite the fact that he is terrified of the wolves. The cave serves as a home for Kedah and the wolf. Alpha growls as he attempts to offer her some water and be friendly to her. Later, Kedah kills his first animal, a rabbit, consumes it, and gives Alpha the leftovers. When Kedah is well enough to go home, he makes an aggressive attempt to drive Alpha back into the wild, but Alpha pursues him nonetheless. Kedah attempts to hunt a boar with Alpha's assistance on the way back. The boar is killed and eaten by them. Together, they also drive away the jackals that were pursuing them by threatening them. They traverse a landscape coated in snow. Alpha and Kedah cross a frozen lake. Kedah thinks that it could be Alpha when he witnesses a bunch of wolves devouring a human carcass while Alpha is away scouting. Kedah approaches them while running and slips on the ice. Alpha uses his knife to cut through the ice in an effort to save Kedah. He starts a new fire and cozies up next to Alpha. Kedah feels the cold as he makes his way further and further away. He and Alpha come across another man's cabin, which Kedah discovers to be frozen to death. He looks around the man's home but can find nothing to eat. Keda thanks his body and grabs the bow and arrow. They keep going until they come across a cave, where a tiger attacks them. While Alpha diverts the tiger's attention, Keda equips himself with a bow and arrows. The conflict between the wolf and the tiger lasts until Keda shoots the tiger to death. But Alpha is seriously hurt. While the weather is worse, Alpha is hardly moving. They tumble because Keda is also frail. Then Keda starts remembering a conversation his parents overheard. Tao responds that Keda is more powerful than he believes to Ro's statement that he follows his heart's desire rather than his spear. Keda is motivated by this memory to get up and carry Alpha. Keda realizes he is close to his house when he notices the tribal markings engraved on the rocks. His tribe is located. Tao rushes to his kid and carries him and Alpha inside the hut for protection and warmth as Keda comes carrying Alpha. Keda and Alpha are given care by the shaman. Keda is shocked when Alpha gives birth to pups. The shaman expresses gratitude to Alpha for giving the tribe new life. Following a full recovery, Keda and Alpha sit with the pups to enjoy the sunset. When they reach adulthood, the wolves go on new hunts with Keda and the other tribe members.